There are over 35,000 individuals experiencing homelessness in Canada on any given night. Homeless people struggle to find basic necessities like food, shelter, healthcare, and employment opportunities. To tackle this problem of homelessness, we created uRelief.
We have 3 main features of our app, starting with the support locator. You can use the map to find places near you, or the search bar and its comprehensive filters so you're getting the help you need to your own specific needs. There's also a news feed for important alerts, events, and announcements, and a section with easy-to-access articles, links, and helplines. Our map allows users to quickly scroll around and select a nearby location if they're looking for something close, but there's also a list view of locations to search and or filter through. You can sort and prioritize your results, as well as select demographics you belong to that could require specific help. Over here, the services that different locations may offer can be varied and unique, so you can add or remove searches based on custom tags found on location listings. If we take a look at an example location page, you can see there's as much useful information as possible. We have the type of location, which here is an emergency shelter, but could also include things like hygiene facilities or community centers. At a glance, you can check the hours and available beds, with quick links to phone and email contact. You also have a mini announcement feed specific to this location and details of all its services. There's a few interesting interactions on this page too, like the rating system. We wanted to keep it as simple as possible so it's easy and accessible to use. Anyone can rate or even change their rating just from picking up the app, no registration necessary. In the top corner is a heart button to add this location to your favorites to keep for later, and a location indicator that doubles as a button to open directions to the location on the map. We also have a resources section, which is just a collection of static content. There's links to websites, articles, and helplines in each of these categories.
While we had initial ideas for what problem space we wanted to solve, we had to come up with ways where we could help the homeless with problems they were facing, but on a scale that we can control and manage. We couldn't come up with solutions that were too large scale or too complicated, so that it would be hard to find all the resources to do so. It just wasn't possible for our small high school minds. For our logo, our idea behind our logo was to create something that symbolized the meaning of our app, which would be visually appealing and memorable, while also representing the app's purpose of helping homeless people find the support they need. We thought of things that would be difficult for the homeless to access, things such as receiving news and updates from many shelters in their area that they may go to, so we added the announcements page to help them keep up to date of each shelter's news without having to go to each one and see what they have coming up. We would consider the app's color palette, typography, and overall aesthetic to make it visually appealing and engaging for users. Lastly, we would continuously iterate and improve the app's design based on research to ensure that it remains relevant and useful in the long run.
You might be wondering, where's our app? Well, no fret, we just use the Figma because it looks nicer. So, as you can see in our app, we have implemented most of the pages for the general user flow. And as for the cool stuff to note, for the map, we used the Google Maps API and created a custom style to further match the styles for our branding. We also have a bounding box, so the user can't scroll too far away. That's because our app doesn't really target other countries. And as for any challenges faced during development, it was really difficult figuring out how to structure our main 3 types of data, which was the feed item, the organization, and the custom location models. As for collaboration, we use GitHub to manage our repository and work collaboratively in order to create the app.
Many organizations have trouble getting news out about the services they are providing, and we wanted to help solve that problem within our boundaries. With the use of our feed, resources, and support locator page, those experiencing homelessness will have centralized access to which organizations and locations are giving out food, offering shelter, and providing healthcare. With uRelief, we hope to bring access to these basic necessities closer to as many people as possible.
Wonderful. Awesome video, Amongi. Okay, so wonderful. All right, so let's start off. I'm going to have Henry start us off with the questions from the judges. Henry, do you have a question for Team Amongi?
Yeah. This one may be a little bit challenging to answer. but I want you to think about that. See if you can give me a clear answer on this. Who do you think the target audience actually is? And how would you even reach those people?
I think the target audience are both the homeless people, like the people who are experiencing homelessness, and also all these organization managers, because our goal in the end is to connect the two in one place. What was the second part of your question?
How do you plan to reach them with your application
Google
or with your
Ads.
idea?
Guys, any ideas? Maybe advertisements, and like generally if they want like a platform to like advertise their like cause, then I think people would try to come to this place if we have more users in general. So
Because studies have shown that a lot of the homeless population actually do have cell phones, so actually having a phone is not a problem.
Yeah, and I think that even if we like put like in like populated areas, like say physical posters, but them having a phone, they could scan like QR codes with say like public Wi-Fi to help access that app that way.
Well, good thinking. I like that you knew about that homeless people actually have cell phones. Very good.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks for that question, Henry. Other judges?
Yeah, I have another one. Maybe this one might be easier to answer. It's on the other side of it. So, did you guys like had any research to inform some of the features you guys put in there, and how do you guys prioritize what you decided to put in your app?
So for like the location, there was like an online PDF that I forgot who it was given by, but basically it had like a pretty big database of all like the helpful or like shelters around this area, like the greater Vancouver area. So that is where we took some of like the location information from. And as for like the feeds page, we decided on what would be most relevant or important to give or like to provide for someone experiencing homelessness. So let's say for example the alert I guess feed item, that one could be helpful for, let's say, a few months ago there was like a time where like homeless people had like this tent city, and basically the city like drove them out. And so in that case, having like a warning beforehand, like through some alert, would probably be helpful for them, and that's why we had that page.
Well, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I have a question from the audience. I'll just jump in and then we'll come back to the judges again. This one, and maybe you answered this a little bit already, but the question was, how from Alex, how is this different from just searching up homeless shelters near me on Google Maps and News?
Oh, I can say something about that. It's just very simply, the answer is that it has a lot more information and a lot more like things that you can do with it. If you're just looking up a place on Google Maps, you do have the things like the directions and maybe like reviews, but it doesn't, because the main focus of Google Maps is just to show you places. It doesn't have a lot of details on what like specific things, like our app has things like the number of beds available and like specific like men's shelters or women's shelters. Google Maps might not account for that. Plus uRelief also has, you know, all of the resources and like helplines and things included. Like, so it's basically, it's all this useful stuff all in one place.
So I'd like to add on to that. So also, instead, like Google Maps doesn't really show what sort of like services that place might have. So they might have like Wi-Fi access, like what bathrooms are available, and like and also there's also like it's also tied into the feeds page with like, so every specific location might have like specific events happening in that. So that's also listed, and that's usually not something you would find in Google Maps.
to add to that, some places also don't. Well, some places have difficulty advertising what services they provide to homeless people. Like my church, for example, has started doing community meals every week, but it's not on their website. Like I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's showed up in the newspaper at some point in time, but mostly the word is spread via word of mouth. So it's difficult to even find online. So to have it in one resource makes it more accessible.
Wonderful. Great. Any more questions from the judges?
Yeah, I have one. First of all, congratulations. I think this is really well done. I think you guys hammered, and I think it's quite useful, I think, for homeless people. Now, if you think about a homeless person, they may have a cell phone, but they may not have a data plan, so they have to rely on the public Wi-Fi. And so let's say they're using your app on the public Wi-Fi, and then suddenly the Wi-Fi cuts off, right? And they really wanted to get to that place. Now they're stuck. So have you thought about having a download button in your app, so then, you know, when they have Wi-Fi, they can download all that information, right? So in case the Wi-Fi cuts out, then they can go, oh, it's okay, I can still find my way through this place. So I know they have these resources.
So I'd like to answer that. You know, like Google Maps, you can also download the map, right? So essentially, we were thinking of that, although it was out of scope for from a development perspective. We were thinking about being able to like download like whatever information we have to like a specific area. So that also ensures like we don't take too much of their data and only to like a specific region. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great. A great presentation, Team Amongi. I have one more comment from the audience. It's not a question, just a comment from Michelle saying, incredible work, Amongi. What an incredible resource.
Don't be sus, vote for us.
Oh, wonderful. So you heard it from Aki. Don't be sus, vote for us. All right. Thank you, Team Amongi. Don't forget to pick your Among Us colors right after this. And good luck, and we'll see you later.